Every Lunar New Year, the largest human migration in the world takes place. Roughly 3 billion people from across the globe rush home to celebrate with family before the new year begins. It's like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's all rolled into an amazing 2-week-long celebration. This holiday offers epic seasonal experiences across China, from a city made of ice and lights to a toboggan ride down the Great Wall of China. Beijing offers a glance into the past and a peek into the future. Come with me, Robbie Frank, and my girlfriend Kathy, as we explore some of the coolest attractions during the Lunar New Year. Hope you brought some comfortable shoes, because here we go. Welcome back, guys. Today we are in Beijing, China at the CCTV Tower. It's one of the largest structures here in Beijing. But before we get into that, we actually started our day by doing something a little bit different.
At the base of the CCTV broadcasting tower is a little hidden aquarium. It's called Underwater World. It's no frills, but really offers a lot for its size.
Yeah, it's not a huge aquarium, but with that being said, it exceeded my expectations, I'll say that much. They had this underwater tunnel. That actually was my favorite section. You go through this underwater tunnel and they have all these huge fish. I mean, stingrays, barracuda, sharks, all these different types of fish swimming around. They feel so close that you could almost reach out and touch them. At one point, we ran into this turtle, and I feel like the turtle was just kind of staring at us.
It was so creepy. It was like self-aware or something.
I think he's just kind of like looking at us like we're looking at him.
We were kind of waving at him, and
He waved back.
Yeah, at one point I'm pretty sure he waved back at us.
Waved back. Nothing in there is very like glitz and glam, but there's this little pond filled with koi fish, and they're called baby fish because you can pay a little bit of money and get a baby bottle with like a little like rubber nipple and they'll eat food out of it.
I didn't expect him to like grab on so strong.
Robbie almost pulled one out of the pond.
This thing latched onto the baby bottle and like would not let go. It was kind of like feeding a really strong baby.
I think babies are really strong.
I also really liked the jellyfish exhibit. They're such like weird creatures.
Well, they're drifters. They don't have brains. They're like 99% water or something crazy. I think that section is very well done because a lot of jellyfish are translucent and transparent, so they color them with light. We decided to visit the aquarium first because it closed right at 5:30 or 6, which is right about the time of sunset, and we timed it that way so we can go up to the observatory deck and see the view in daylight and also at night.
When you take the elevator up to the 22nd floor, you'll arrive at an open-air observatory deck. It's really awesome, and I think we got there just at the right time.
This is so cool.
We got to see the size and scope of Beijing during the day. As it turned to night, it definitely got cold up there. I feel like I got a little bit of frostbite, honestly, but it's okay. It was worth it. I got some really cool long exposure photography up there. Once you've seen the outdoor observatory deck, you can make your way down to the 19th floor. There they have kind of like the history of CCTV. So you may be asking yourself, what does CCTV stand for?
It stands for China Central Television.
This is China's biggest broadcasting network.
It's got like 15 channels. They've got like a music-specific channel, a news channel, a lifestyle channel.
They have this rotating diner that's on the 18th floor. You can sit down, eat, and get an amazing view of Beijing.
Driving by it during the day, it just kind of looks like any Space Needle. At night, it looks like a big red lantern. Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're at the Chinese Science and Technology Museum, and let me tell you, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is definitely a kids museum, but with that being said, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can touch almost everything in here, and a lot of things are interactive.
Yeah, they have a ton of different sections. One of my favorites was the space section, which is on the top floor. You put it together kind of like Legos, and the spaceship that the Chinese rocket takes off. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like a model, but I got really excited with the countdown and everything.
When you first walk in, there's a really cool dinosaur right at the front gate.
Or right here.
We named him Bob. They also have this section where you can kind of terraform the planet.
It's like a sandbox where you move the sand around.
Exactly. But as you move the sand around, it affects how body of water flows from creek to creek.
Yeah, it's super cool. China right now is really thinking ahead about global warming. So there's a whole section dedicated to that, about hydropower and wind power and electricity.
I went into a submarine. That was really cool.
Yeah. This is an ordinary circle, but once you've flipped one end of it, it is now a Mobius strip, and the two surfaces has changed into one, so you can go through it continuously on both sides.
Oh, he's playing chess. Oh my god, that's so crazy. So it's playing a bunch of games at once?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Winter in Beijing, the Longqingxia Ice Show happens here in the Longqing Dam. They take advantage of the frozen ice and make art out of it.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. They have room after room, and they've created sculptures made out of ice.
The ice is harvested from the dam here. So during the summer, it's a dam, but then in the winter, it's cold enough so that the water freezes, and the artists just go to town. So beautiful here. We're just kind of inside of a cave.
Some of the sections you can't touch the work at all, but this particular section you can kind of totally interact with, which is pretty cool.
We're standing on the ice right now. How's it feel to sit on the throne?
Throne of ice.
It's so cool.
Don't get your tongue stuck. So behind us here is Longqingxia. It's the dam right outside of Beijing, and it's frozen over, and they've turned it into this massive sculpture. There's people taking pictures here. After you see the Ice Expo, get a little bird's eye view of all the ice sculptures, and head on out to the main area again.
And if you've ever seen the Golden Dragon escalator, it's right up there.
There's actually one of China's longest elevators. It's this long dragon that goes up. I think it's 9 different sections.
Yep, I can't believe it's open. Do you think the people that work up there just reverse these escalators at the end of the day?
Yeah, probably. Babe, why are you freaking out? Why are you scared, baby?
We're really high up. We're on top of the dam.
So that's a frozen dam art that we were looking at. And that's
is where we are, the top of the dam. So in case you guys didn't know, Kathy has an extreme fear of heights. Not extreme, because if you had an extreme fear of heights, you would have never came up here. But this is so cool, we're on top of the dam. How crazy is that? Good news, we thought we were gonna be climbing down some like scary ass steps from the top, but it's really not too bad. You just kind of...
We're in a cave.
We're in like a cave, we're like gradually walking down to the bottom. Really not too bad. So we were heading down to the exit, and there's apparently for 30 yuan, which is roughly like $5, a way where you can go down without taking the stairs. You basically take like this slide.
You take a little cart over, I think it's metal tubes, rolling all the way down.
So we decided to do that.
Got tickets.
Woo!
There are doubles and singles. Which one do you want to do?
I'm gonna do a single.
Okay. I think a little kid jumped out of his cart. Hold on, we're not done yet. We're just gonna let them go a little faster.
Okay, yeah, give him some room.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oh, buddy! How did I beat you by so much?
Because I was scared, so I was going slow.
I just sped down super quick. I had a blast. I thought that was awesome.
It's awesome. My butt is numb, but this totally seems like something that would be at Action Park. Like, not super safe, but loads of fun.
Another really cool thing about this expo is, along with all the lights they have set up and the ice sculptures, on one of the mountains surrounding Beijing, they have it entirely lit up with different lights that showcase the Great Wall of China. Right now we are just outside of the Forbidden City. This complex was constructed back in 1406 and it was completed in 1420. Now you may be asking yourself, how was this huge facility built in just 16 years? There were over 1 million workers to build this complex. The Forbidden City was home to various emperors, 24 to be exact. It was home to the Ming Dynasty from 1406 until 1644, when the Qing Dynasty took over, and they ruled here until 1912. It is a piece of quintessential history here in China, and many Chinese people consider this almost like a holy site here in Beijing.
So it's like a Chinese castle.
Yeah, it is actually the largest ancient preserved palace here in China. It's gonna be a lot of fun, so stay tuned.
Right now we're on top of the Meridian Gate, which is the front door of the Forbidden City. This is one of the corner buildings of the Forbidden City. It's really cool because they used very minimal nails to hold it together. It's held together kind of like origami. It's all interlocking.
Kind of like Legos or something.
Yeah. Chinese people really like lions, but they don't look like regular lions. They're kind of like a mythological take on the lions that we know. And a lot of times they guard doors and gates. There's usually a male lion with a ball under one of the paws, and then the other one is a female lion with a little baby lion under her paw. This is the Gate of Supreme Harmony. It's where the emperor had his morning reports with his council. This is Hogong, the back of the palace, and it's said that the real politics happened within these walls. The emperor had as many as 72 wives at a time, and ideally each one of these wives would bear a son because only male heirs had the chance to become emperor. So of course all of these wives would conspire against each other to get their sons the best chance of becoming emperor. There's a gazebo up at the very top of the mountain where you can see all of the Forbidden City. Nice stairs though.
They are nice, but
So little.
they keep going on and on and on. We're almost there, guys. Almost there.
So after quite a few steps, we made our way to the top of Jing Shan, also known as the mountain with the view.
And let me tell you, there is a view.
It is quite a view. You overlook the entire Forbidden City, and right now it's sunset, and it just looks pretty beautiful from up top here. It only costs 2 yuan per person to get up here, which really only is about 25 cents, and it is well worth the view.
Directly across from the front door of the old city is what is now a tourist place. Maintained a lot of the old facades, have been stocked with different restaurants and gift shops. It's just really fun to walk around. There are red lanterns up. I don't know if they're up all year or if it's just for Spring Festival, but it's really nice. If you look over here, there's a Starbucks, but it looks really cool, looks very Chinesey. Behind me is what Chinese call hutong, which means a little alleyway, and it's generally stocked with small businesses on both sides, and it's a really small street. I think back then carriages couldn't even go through it, so it's really like pedestrian street. This is a thing called bingtang hulu, usually red berries on a stick covered in sugar. I don't particularly like that kind. This is little taro beans covered in sugar. So it's basically like a sweet potato candy. Do you hear that?
Is that
It's like super hard.
Is it like rock candy?
Uh-huh.
Wait, so can you not chew it? Oh, you can chew it.
It's really good.
It's not bad. It's very sugary. The outside, there's like so much like hardened sugar that it's almost like this little rock layer outside. But the middle is like pretty soft. It's sweet. Not just from the sugar, from the taro too. I would give it like a 6.5. We had a really fun day exploring Qianmen Street. Kind of goes on and on and on. There's a lot of these like little back alleys. You'll find everything from like these little candy shops to a lot of like fashion and clothing shops.
Also big name restaurants that specializes in like a certain kind of food.
Kathy was telling me one of the best dumpling places is right here.
It's like a bun place. It's called Gobuli, which directly translates to dogs won't sniff it. I don't really know where the name came from, but it's supposed to be one of the best in Beijing.
Sat down, got a little xiaolong bao along with some spring rolls. It was really tasty. Now that it's nighttime, it's all lit up. They have these red lanterns kind of glowing everywhere. It's really pretty, actually.
Yeah, I really like the statues during the day, but like come at night to see the lights.
Today I'm in the Summer Palace in Beijing, the largest ancient imperial garden that has been preserved here in China. Right now I'm here on January 31st, and it's pretty chilly. The lake behind me, which takes up about 70% of the park, is called the Qianmen Lake. It is currently frozen over, but that's not stopping people from having fun. Normally you'd be able to take a boat ride. Since it's frozen over, people are on ice boats. I'm going to be exploring different parts of the Summer Palace today. It should be pretty fun, so come check it out. Because Beijing gets so hot in the summer, the Forbidden City wasn't the most ideal spot the royalty wanted to be when it got super hot and humid, so they would escape about 15 kilometers away, not super far, to the Summer Palace. And even though the government is much different nowadays, a lot of government officials still go to the Summer Palace for their summer vacations. So I decided to rent this little scooter thingy, and I paid another 50 yuan to go onto the ice, but it was actually awesome. Everybody's out here just kind of having a good time. A lot of people are with their families. It feels a little bit like bumper cars without all the bumping. It's like ice skating on a sled. You give them your ticket, they give you the scooter thingy that you sit on, 2 axe picks, and you like axe pick your way across the ice to the other side. Let's do it. And on the other side, that's where Longevity Hill is. I took a walk up Longevity Hill. It's about maybe 150, 200 steps, not too bad.
And when you finally reach the summit, you'll have an amazing view of the Summer Palace.
And at the very top, they have this beautiful four-tiered Buddhist temple, and they actually have a 12-faced Buddha that's inside the middle of this complex. One thing that attracts so many people to this location is the 3,000 plus ancient Chinese structures that are here. They have ancient bridges, towers, pavilions, and in many ways it feels like walking through the Forbidden City because it has that imperial architecture. This bridge behind me is a 17-arch bridge. It's really beautiful, and it's one of the highlights here at the Summer Palace. I'm sure in the summer, you know, it's way different just because you can take boat rides and they have these lush gardens with all the flowers that have bloomed. But I had a ton of fun. One of my favorite things today, honestly, was just axe picking across the ice. Hey guys, so we are at the Great Wall. Today we'll be checking out Mutianyu. We've got 3 different tickets. One of them is an entrance pass. One of them is a ticket to get up the cable cars. And one of them is a ticket to slide down the mountain, which is gonna be really fun. So come join us. This is so cool.
It's like a ski lift.
Yeah.
And look at everyone coming down.
So right now we're riding the cableway. It's different from the cable cars because it's open. It's more like a ski lift. Kathy's freaking out a little bit, but I'm having a great time. This is really fun. And then we are gonna hop onto these kind of like go-kart thingies.
Keep going. This is one of my worst fears.
But like, look, you're doing it. You're doing it. You can walk or hike your way up, but Godspeed. Wait, so if you climb all the way to the top, you get a certificate?
It's called the Hero Certificate.
You can be a hero. "94% of this section of the Great Wall is covered in forest. So in the fall, you get some nice foliage. In the winter, it's covered in snow. In the summer, everything blooms and it looks beautiful. Right now, we're in line for this slideway, so we can skate our way down part of the Great Wall.
No stopping, no photo.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome!
That was a ton of fun. That was way longer than I expected it
It was
to
like
be.
7 minutes.
You've got like this toboggan. All it has is a brake, so you can go down as fast as you like. I was happily surprised we didn't get stuck behind any like 2-year-olds that were
Yeah,
going.
last time we went to the ice show, there was one like this, and it was much shorter. It was probably like a minute down, but like some kid fell out of his toboggan. Nothing happened here.
For what me and Kathy did, it was 360 yuan.
The 360 is for 2 people, not just one. One person, the whole thing is 180 yuan, which is less than 30 American dollars.
Pretty good deal. I mean, that exchange rate, I'm loving right now. One thing I wanted to mention is if you do come here and you do get the shuttle bus ticket, make sure to hold on to it because they're gonna punch your ticket on the one way over. They're gonna punch you in the face. You can spend the day.
There's a hotel behind me. You can spend multiple days.
Exactly, it's a whole like resort. Mutianyu was a ton of fun. Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I recommend it if you have teenagers in your party or like young adults. If you have elderly people here, it's also nice because you don't have to climb anything.
They've got wheelchair accessible options so you can get up the hill. And overall, I give it 2 thumbs up. Woo! I gotta say, the malls are one of the most impressive things about China. Hey guys, we are in Wangfujing, which was the first modern shopping complex to come here to Beijing. As you're walking around, you'll see high-end shops, but you also see very middle-of-the-road shops as well. We found a Toys R Us here. I thought they went out of business, but apparently they found a market here. Oh, also, Kathy lost her voice, so she's just kind of a mime today. But anyways, we're just walking around having some fun, so come join us. To me, the crazy thing about being here at these malls in China is it's like not what you'd expect at all. This is like just 6 floors, 2 towers, goes on and on and on. place is pretty huge.
I know.
Kathy's so funny. She just told me that little kids are like little drunk people. One kid had a lightsaber and he was like to his dad, "You want to fight me? Fight me. I'm not scared." If you're a kid, I would be here all the time. We were at like one of the toy shops. We checked out a Toys R Us just to see like if it was still in business, and here it's thriving. Another separate toy store that we were just kind of walking through had this like life-size like choo-choo train that you could take a ride on to the store. It was crazy. I shot some Nerf guns. It was fun. Pretty much like all of these big malls, they're like the size of a King of Prussia. You could definitely get lost in here pretty easy. They have like shops that you'd see at really high-end malls in America. Presentation here is like a huge thing. I mean, they've got everything from like H&M and The Gap and Swarovski, what did that watch? Swatch, and it goes on and on and on. This area was, I'm not sure if it still is, but at one point it was the biggest shopping district in Beijing. It actually reminds me a lot of Nanjing Road in Shanghai. They have this food market here that we're gonna go check out and explore. We just saw this dude on a motorcycle drive right through. Currently, that's what it used to be like. This area is what like old Beijing used to look like before it got more industrialized. There are people just like yelling at you, trying to sell you food. Trying to entice you to come to their food stall. We're starting with some tofu. Kathy just tried it. She said it was delicious. I'm gonna take a bite. That's got a lot of flavor. The spice that they put on it is actually a little bit of cumin. I'm all about it. Dude, they're still moving. We also saw some bugs, but I draw the line at bugs and scorpions. It's a little bit too extreme for me. They boil it right in front of you. They put it in a cup like this. We picked out a couple of different things. We picked out some pigeon eggs, fish tofu. Well, Kathy picked this one out. I don't know if I'm gonna eat it. Some sheep innards, sheep stomach, I believe. Lastly, we picked out some mushrooms wrapped in tofu skin. So let's take a bite. I'm gonna start with the pigeon eggs because I've had these before, but now they're fried, so I think they're gonna be really good. Pigeon eggs really aren't that much different than regular eggs. When they're boiled, the yolk is just really warm and creamy and melty and delicious. Next, I'm gonna try the mushroom wrapped in tofu skin. Not bad. I like it. I'm gonna swallow this. Next up, we're gonna try the fish tofu. The fish tofu has more of like a chew to it. I like it. The fish tofu is actually made of fish and gluten. There's actually no tofu in it, so I'm not sure why they call it fish tofu, but clearly looks like tofu. No tofu in it. right after the Chinese New Year, there are a number of street festivals that open up. Today we're going to be checking out one of those. Today is February 6th, so one day after the Chinese New Year. It's still sort of that break time, kind of like a Christmas break between Christmas and New Year's. We are at Ditan Miao Hui. It's got food, it's got games, it's got performances. So yeah, come and explore with us. If you do come to these Miao Hui's street fairs that they have, be expecting a lot of people because it is busy. They're only open for 5 days after the beginning of the Chinese New Year, roughly February 6th until the 10th, but it is certainly busy. So one thing you definitely won't find a shortage of is food here at these festivals. Right now we just got some Hong Kong style meatballs. Be careful when you eat them because there's some hot liquid on the inside, so just take a bite first.
It's like soup dumplings, but a meatball.
It's kind of like xiaolongbao, but more like meatball style. You can see in the middle here, got stuffed with some meat and some delicious liquid. And then once you get that, go to town. Okay, we got some more food. Right now we're gonna try some barbecued lamb. It kind of tastes a little bit like Korean barbecue. That's really good, babe. You gotta try this. Another big thing here are various artisans. We just passed the shop and they make traditional Chinese shadow puppets. So think of like a marionette, but instead of it being 3D, it's two-dimensional and it's made out of leather. You can kind of play around with it to give it really cool effects in the light. They also had a shop that had traditional Peking opera masks. Peking opera is one thing that like people think of when they think of China. There's this traditional magic trick where like the faces would change. They even had this little toy that had these changing faces as well. Change. Magic.
I didn't tell you this in the beginning, but a big reason why I went to China was to meet a lot of Kathy's extended family and to ask for their blessing to marry her. I'm happy to report that my girlfriend is now my wife.